Hello everyone, I'm Angeline.
And I'm Sam.
And welcome to English Digest. I don't know about you, but there are a few items I cannot leave the house without. My keys, my cell phone, wallet, hand sanitizer, and something else I've recently added to the list.
Face masks.
That's right, a face mask.
Yeah.
Before COVID-19, I only wore a face mask when I was sick. Now, I feel quite uneasy when I'm not wearing a face mask in crowded places, especially when I'm taking public transportation. So that has been another thing that I've added to my list of things I cannot leave the house without.
Yeah, it's actually quite common to wear face masks here in Taiwan. People wear it when experiencing an allergy.
Yes.
When the pollution level is high, or simply when not wearing any makeup.
That's true.
Yes.
I've been guilty of that. I decided I didn't want to wear makeup today, so I put on a mask in hopes that nobody would notice that I'm not wearing makeup. Okay, so the global pandemic has definitely changed our habits. It wasn't common for people to wear surgical masks in the past. That's more so in North America and other countries. But now that will likely change. You've probably taken a peek at our writing exercise today and noticed a lady is seen wearing a face mask while other passengers look on in shock. Okay, I think this will be an interesting topic to write about. So without further ado, let's begin. Okay, so this month's writing exercise consists of a series of 3 pictures. The 4th picture is a huge question mark, which means you get to decide the ending. Along with the pictures, you will also be given a short written prompt to guide your writing. You should read these instructions carefully so you know what you have to do for this writing task. Let's take a look at our writing prompt.
好，马上来看一下今天要写的这个文章了。今天呢，我们要看一下这个图片呢，来写作文章了。请仔细观察呢右方3幅连环图片的内容，并想象第4幅图片可能的发展。我们呢今天要写一篇120字以上的文章，文章呢需涵盖连环图片的内容，并且有完整的结局。
Okay, so we're going to be writing an essay with at least 120 words based on the series of pictures provided. It's important to pay close attention to how the pictures relate to one another because the essay must touch on the content of all 3 pictures. You will also have to come up with an ending for the story. So we have quite a lot of flexibility for this writing task because there is really only one thing we need to keep in mind, and that is the essay should have no fewer than 120 words. Take a moment to study the pictures carefully and to jot down what you see, like the characters, facial expressions, body language, surroundings, and other important details you notice. For example, we can probably assume the story doesn't take place in Taiwan because in the first picture, we see that the sign says subway. In Taiwan, the public transport system is called MRT, Mass Rapid Transit. Okay, so this story might take place in maybe New York or Seoul because these cities call their metropolitan railways subway. As I mentioned earlier, there are 3 other passengers in the carriage, and it looks like they seem frightened by the lady. One guy even gets up to yell at her. So we can assume the only reason people are reacting in this way is because she's wearing a face mask. That's the only thing that's different about her compared to the rest of the passengers. She didn't sit in a priority seat, nor is she shouting obscenities. So it's the face mask. Now, the pictures are open to interpretation, so there are no wrong answers as long as it's logical.
今天呢，我们要写的就是一篇看图写作的文章啊。看图写作最重要的关键呢，就是要仔细的观察图片了，任何的蛛丝马迹都不能放过了。比方说呢 Angeline 老师提到说，这个故事呢应该不是发生在台湾，为什么呢？因为第一张图片的标示写的是 subway 而不是捷运我们常常看到的 MRT。 OK， 我们呢就要看这些细节呢来建构你的故事还有哪些细节呢？比方说像这个里面的人物他的表情啦，他的肢体语言啦，还有呢比方说他是不是戴口罩，身上有什么特征，坐在什么位置上等等，这些细节呢都要注意到了。那其实看图写作呢，只要符合图片上有出现的所有细节，然后呢故事情节合情合理，符合逻辑就可以，其实不难的
Yeah, I agree. I feel like this type of writing is one of the easier ones. It's definitely better than another essay about, something more complicated.
Yeah, pros and cons.
Pros
Why
and
not
cons.
go abroad?
Yeah, or pros and cons of wearing school uniforms.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so picture writing essays are narrative essays, which means you are telling a story, okay? The focus of a narrative essay is the plot, so you should tell the story with enough detail to build to a climax. An effective narrative would include vivid descriptions, and sensory details to involve the reader and allow the audience to put themselves in the character's shoes. These details will also help you support your statements or arguments.
看图写作呢，其实就是一种叙述文。叙述文呢，就是要叙述这个文章里面发生的事情，你看到的细节。那文章呢，自然就离不开图片里面你看到的人事物了。而且呢，要让这个故事更精彩的关键呢，其实就在于你是不是能够生动的来描述这些细节了。当你的故事越多细节设定的越完整，就越能让这个读者呢理解故事的进程，理解主角的状况，让故事呢更生动也更合理咯。
Let's think of what steps we need to take to write the story. You'll want to come up with a central theme for your story based on your interpretation of the pictures, okay? Then you'll want to describe what is going on in each picture and also find a logical way to connect the pictures together. So in picture 2, we can see that all the passengers are looking at this woman wearing a mask. In picture 3, a man approaches the woman and yells at her. So we need to come up with a reason for this man's behavior. Why is he yelling at her? What did she do to get such a reaction?
看图写作的第一步呢，我们刚刚讲过了，就是呢要仔细的观察图片。那我们文章主角呢，应该就是这位女性了，因为她在我们的这个每一个图片都出现了。那呢，她戴着口罩上了地铁，在地铁上其他人是用什么样的表情看着她，这个我们就要特别留意了。那第3张图片，为什么这个男子要骂她？那这个骂她的理由，应该就会引导到我们第4张图片的这个大问号了。所以呢，我们就要观察这些图片上的细节，之后呢，你就可以设定一个主题，那我们就环绕这个主题来写作。例如呢，我们可以讲说，在纽约地铁上戴口罩的经验，这个就是我们的主题。那呢，环绕这个主题呢，我们就可以运用图片的细节来架构我们今天的故事。
And as with any kind of essay, our essay should have an introduction. You need to set the story, and this is where those details you took note of come into play. So a woman enters a subway station, right? We can talk about why the woman is wearing a mask. Maybe she's sick. She's not feeling very well. Maybe she's pregnant and she doesn't want to put herself at risk, so she's wearing a mask to protect herself. Or maybe she was too lazy to put on makeup today, so she decided to wear a mask. That's what I've done in the past.
好，连环图片写作其实呢，跟我们写作其他文章一样呢，它的架构一样必须要包含起承转合。我们呢一样要有这个开头的引言 introduction， 要文章主题 body 跟 conclusion 要有一个结论了。那在开头呢 introduction 这个引言的部分呢，我们就可以聊一聊这个主角他是谁，他是什么背景他要去哪里，以及呢为什么他戴口罩可能呢他是一位孕妇呢，他被传染这个感冒了，所以他戴着口罩，还是呢他今天懒得化妆，所以戴口罩。OK， 这些背景描述呢都可以在我们的开头 introduction 引言的地方呢带出来。
Okay, another thing that we could also mention is whether this story is set in pre-COVID-19 or post-COVID-19, okay? Before COVID-19, it wasn't common for people to wear surgical masks, especially outside of Asia. Now, if you wore a surgical mask while taking public transport in North America, you'll likely get a few stares your way. If this story is written during COVID-19 or post-COVID-19, it's likely the man was making a racist remark. That's what we can kind of guess, right? COVID-19 not only created panic and concern, but also racism, which I'm sure you guys heard about in the news. OK， 在我们的这个引言开头之后呢，我们就可以接到文章主体了。那这边故事是怎么样发生？为什么会起冲突呢？刚刚呢 Angelina 老师就提到一个很好的切入点大家呢可以设定这个故事呢是发生在这个新冠疫情之前还是之后了。之前的话呢，我们就可以讨论一下文化差异因为呢东西方呢对于戴口罩它有不同的感受。在台湾呢，我们可能习以为常戴口罩就是大家都戴口罩，但西方人可能觉得你是生病吗？生病应该就在家休息，为什么要出来趴趴照呢？OK， 这样的文化差异呢造成的误解就可以在这个我们新冠疫情发生之前就有可能发生这样的故事。那如果是在新冠疫情发生之后呢 OK， 大家都戴口罩，那为什么还会有冲突呢？我们就可以讨论来说是不是呢因为他是被怀疑了传染了有带源才戴口罩，是不是因为这样造成误解呢？或者是呢在各地事实上有很多新冠疫情引发的种族歧视因为呢是东方面孔，就被觉得说你是不是从这个中国来的，那呢你是不是有带源等等，因为这个疫情而造成的种族歧视，这些呢都是我们可以在文章主体来探讨的议题。 That's right. Okay, don't forget that we need to come up with a reasonable conclusion, right? For our fourth picture. What happened after the man yelled at her? Did the woman defend herself? Maybe some other passengers came over and intervened. How would you want your story to end, Sam?
I would like to see that guy got caught and sent to the police office. Yeah, maybe it's not common, but since it's not illegal to wear a face mask, there's no reason that the guy should yell at her. If I were her, I wouldn't have to explain anything. I'd call the police.
I agree with you. You made a very good point. It's not illegal to wear a face mask, and we can't make assumptions about why people wear face masks. And it's not a crime, like you said, to wear one. So that guy really should have minded his own business.
Yes.
As with any essay we write, we should also ensure our writing is free of grammatical and spelling errors, right? Rather than using complex words that might require complicated grammar, structure patterns, it's better to use simple and easy to understand words to avoid the possibility of getting marks docked off for errors. So your writing should be clear and concise.
没有错，提醒大家呢，与其我们用这个艰深难懂的字词，跟这种结构很复杂、很容易犯错的句子呢，我们不如呢就用简单易懂的字词，跟这个你很清楚、你很有把握的句子呢，来减少错误的发生哦。
There are a few other things you should keep in mind. Narratives are usually written in the past tense, so pay close attention to your tenses to make sure your tenses are consistent throughout your story. You might find it helpful to name the characters in your story. It'll make the story easier to follow, and you can also save your word count for more important details instead of writing the man with a beard throughout the story.
OK， 在这边呢，最后要提醒大家，时态的部分呢，当我们是一篇叙述文的时候呢，通常我们是在讲过去发生的故事所以时态通常是采用这个过去式来进行文章的写作。那另外呢，在这边我们也建议大家呢，可以把你的这个文章里面的一些重要的角色呢来命名了，因为呢，当你命名之后呢，你就可以省下字数来这个解释其他更重要的细节，而不是一直在解释你现在在讲的这个人到底是谁，这样子呢也很容易造成混淆咯。
Now that we have a good grasp on how we're going to write this essay, let's take the time to put together our outline. The outline will act as a backbone for our essay. It'll help establish a direction for our story. So let's refer to the sample outline in the article. Okay, it says, Topic Sentence 1, Mindy was visiting London and took the subway one day. Okay, so we know where Mindy is. She's visiting London, so she's not a local there. And she's going to take the subway. What did she do? Well, she wore a mask. And then Mindy noticed a couple of locals in the carriage. And what she noticed about these locals was that they appeared to be frightened.
在我们这个第一段落的主题句开头引言的部分呢，作者呢就马上把这个故事背景给设定出来了。首先呢，他设定了我们的主角呢就叫做 Mindy。Mindy 呢，他在哪里？他在伦敦哦，他要搭地铁。然后呢，他是怎么样？他是 visiting， 他是呢来这边这个观光，所以呢，他不是一个这个当地人。那呢，他戴着口罩，并且发现呢车厢这个 carriage 里面呢有一些当地人。那这些当地人怎么样呢？他们是看起来很惊吓的样子。在这边呢，作者第一段落呢就带到了第一章跟第二张图片，那可以想见呢，第二段应该就会迎来故事的高潮，就是呢，准备在第三张图片要来被骂了。
Okay, why is she getting yelled at? Well, let's find out. Topic sentence 2 says, Suddenly, one of the men rushed toward her. Okay, and why did he do that? Well, he yelled angrily at Mindy because he believed she was sick. And then she explained that people wear masks for different reasons. And she also told the man this was a common thing to do in Taiwan.
果不其然呢，我们在第二个主题句呢就讲到，忽然呢有人冲过来干嘛呢？对着他大喊哦，然后呢就来到了我们第4章，被骂了之后，这个主角怎么来反应呢 ？OK， 我们这边作者呢就说他跟这个人解释其实呢戴口罩不一定是有生病的而且呢在戴口罩呢在台湾是很普遍的事情，所以其实可以不用这么的惊慌。
Okay, and our conclusion, I think it's a good one. It's a happy ending. The man apologized and agreed it was a good idea to protect oneself in this way.
最后呢，别忘了我们文章呢一样要下一个结论了。在这边呢，我们有一个很好的结局了。这个男的呢道歉了，他呢理解说，戴口罩其实是保护自己，也保护别人的一个方式了。
Okay, as you can see from this sample outline, we know exactly what the story is about. That's when we know we've written a good outline. So after you've written your outline, compare it with the series of pictures to see if there is any missing information. Is the plot well developed? Is your conclusion consistent with the rest of the story? Outlines might seem like a big waste of time, but even the most famous writers take the time to create an outline.
好，在这边呢，我们先把大纲拟好呢，事实上可以帮助我们节省后续实际写作的时间了。怎么省呢 ？OK， 因为呢，你在这里就已经可以看到故事的架构是不是平衡。我们呢也可以回去比对图片，是不是所有细节都被提到了？有没有错误需要修正 ？OK， 在这个部分修正呢，会比你一开始就直接写作，写完了呢才发现，哎呀，有很多问题要回头来改。OK， 先拟大纲呢，绝对是快得多了。所以先记得我们写作之前呢，一定要拟定大纲咯。
Okay, one more thing. Don't forget to use transitions in your writing so you can carry the reader from one idea to the next. Transitions help the reader see the connection or relationship between ideas.
好，在这边呢也提醒大家，记得呢我们要多用这些 transitions 这些转折的词语哦。OK， 不管呢是这个延续下去 therefore hence， 或者是呢这些转折像是 however OK， 或是呢这个补充描述 moreover 等等哦，这些字词呢可以帮助你的文章呢句子跟句子之间的连结呢是更加的通顺。同时呢藉由这些字词呢，这个读者呢也很容易知道说，前后句子的关系呢是延续下去说，是补充说明，还是相反等等，这些字词很有用，请大家呢要多多利用了。
Okay, we're going to take a quick break before we take a look at our sample writing. Okay, welcome back. So now let's take the time to read through the basic sample, our first writing sample. Basic sample. Mindy was visiting London and took the subway one day. She wore a mask as this was a habit she'd formed in Taiwan. She took a seat on the subway train, which wasn't busy. Then Mindy noticed a couple of locals some way down the carriage. They appeared to be frightened and were pointing at her and her mask. Suddenly, one of the men rushed toward her. He yelled angrily at Mindy, saying that if she was sick with a deadly virus, she shouldn't be on the subway at all. Mindy stayed calm. She explained that people wear masks for different reasons and that she wore it to protect herself from other people's illnesses. She also told the man this was a common thing to do when using public transportation in Taiwan. The man apologized for his rude behavior and agreed it was a good idea for her to protect herself in this way. Okay, I think this story is set prior to the global outbreak of COVID-19. Okay, based on how well Taiwan handled the coronavirus compared to the rest of the world, we can assume face masks were helpful in curbing the spread, right? As such, I think the world will look at face masks differently, and a lot more people will be sporting this new fashion accessory.
Yeah, and I think people would find how useful it when not wearing any makeup.
Yes, that's true. You can save a lot of money on makeup because you only need, if you're really particular, you could just do your eye makeup, but the rest of your face, you can just leave it. Yeah. Unfortunately, Mindy entered a carriage with ignorant passengers who pointed at her and passed judgment. The word carriage might be unfamiliar to you. Subway trains are made up of a number of cars or carriages. We also use the word carriage to talk about a large vehicle with 4 wheels that is pulled by a horse and that carries people.
OK, carriage 这个单字讲的呢，是我们古代或是现在呢，你还是有机会看到的这种马车哦。那马车我们叫做 carriage， 那在现代呢，这个字我们比较常会被翻译为车厢了。比方说呢，像是捷运啊，或是火车，我们有很多节一节一节的车厢，这个字呢，我们就英文会讲 carriage。Okay,
so I can understand why this man would be angry if his assumptions were true. But he was too quick to pass judgment on the woman, okay? He assumed she was sick and she was carrying a deadly virus. Like I mentioned earlier, there could be a multitude of reasons for why the woman is wearing a mask. Maybe she feels unwell, but she doesn't show any symptoms yet. However, she felt it was her social responsibility to wear a mask anyway, just in case. So it's not good to pass judgment on people.Pass
judgment on someone 或 something 就表示呢对这个事情或是对这个人下判决哦。例如呢，我们故事中的这位男士呢，他假设我们的主角呢，他就是生病了，有身上呢带源这个危险的病毒呢，还啪啪照。但是呢，他的假设呢根本没有被验证了，他根本没有办法证明。所以呢，他就是怎么样呢 ？Pass judgment on the woman， 他马上呢就下了结论哦，对这个我们的主角下了一个判决。
Okay, and you know what? Each country has its own customs and practices.So we know from this picture that the locals, they don't wear masks when they're traveling on public transportation. And in fact, they think that wearing a mask is not a good thing, right? Because they're like, you shouldn't be going anywhere. You should be staying at home, not putting other people's lives in danger. Well, like I said earlier, each country has its own customs and practices. So when we travel to a foreign country, it's important to respect these customs and practices. For example, in Thailand, handshaking is considered dirty. Instead, people greet each other by performing Y. You place your palms together like a prayer over your nose and bow slightly. So when you meet somebody from Thailand, it's not a good idea to shake hands with them.
That's very good to know. Custom 这个字呢，就是你一直做的事情哦。比方说呢，你每天早上一定要9点准时出门，每天都是，这个呢就是你的 custom。那或是呢，这个字也可以被翻译为习俗了。例如呢，我们说这个端午节啊，吃粽子啊，过年要团聚，这些呢，我们就是 custom， 或是呢可以代换为这个 tradition， 传统习俗，或是呢我们也可以把它翻译为风土民情哦。像是呢我们刚刚说，在泰国不握手，或是呢在这个台湾戴口罩是很普遍的事情，这些呢都可以是 custom.
It's important that we're not quick to pass judgment because it can turn into a very embarrassing and humiliating situation for us. You might notice that a young person who looks perfectly fit is sitting in a priority seat. But actually, this person may have an invisible disability that you don't know about.
没有错，没有错。博爱座呢就是一个很好的例子了。你可能看到一个，他不老也没有怀孕，看起来很健康的人呢，但是他却坐在博爱座上面，但是呢有可能是他的身体有状况了，你看不出来的哦。所以呢，太快下结论了，可能呢，我们就会跟这个故事里的男士一样，让自己丢脸喽。
Okay, now let's take a look at our advanced sample. Advanced sample. With everything that's happened during this global pandemic, it brings to mind how drastically people's habits have changed. I'm reminded of something I experienced in February. I had just moved to New York City, and I had a cold. Being from Taiwan, I'd always been advised to wear a face mask when sick, so I put one on before heading to the subway. I boarded the train, thinking only about where I was going. From farther down in the carriage came upset voices, but I tuned them out, assuming they had nothing to do with me. I couldn't have been more wrong. Before I knew it, a local man was storming down the rows of seats toward me, pointing his finger toward my face. "Why are you wearing that mask?" he yelled. "Did you bring that virus here with you?" I was so frightened that I forgot all my English and just stared as he continued to shout. Thankfully, another passenger came over to stick up for me and told the man to calm down. Staring daggers at me, he went back to his seat. Now everyone in New York is wearing these masks. I still feel nervous on the subway sometimes because I can't forget that incident, but at least people now understand this habit. Okay. In this essay, the writer is talking about a situation that happened before COVID-19, right? It looks like it happened in February. So I think in February, it was all within Asia, COVID-19.
Yes.
And North America was still saying, oh, it's just the common flu. Why are you guys freaking out?
That's terrible.
So when the writer looked at these series of pictures, it brought to mind some habits that people have now adopted because of COVID-19. The phrase to bring to mind means to make you remember something.
Okay, bring to mind 这个片语呢，就是表示想起或是记起。你也可以说呢 call to mind， 或是呢 bring something back。OK， 你把它带回来了，就表示呢你是回想起这个过去的事情了。
Like in the first story, this story talks about cultural differences too. Okay, so in Taiwan, people have the habit of wearing face masks to protect themselves and those around them. So this happened even before COVID-19. I'm guessing it resulted from SARS. Is that right? Or did this happen even before SARS?
I think it's like from SARS.
Okay.
Yeah, actually from SARS, like people start to wearing like lots of face masks.
Okay.
And yes, it's common for people to wear those masks in Taiwan. And I remember someone said it's one of the reasons why COVID-19 got under control quickly in Taiwan.
Yes, I must agree with that. When the outbreak of COVID-19 started, a lot of countries didn't really encourage people to wear masks.
Yeah.
I think they also thought that it would cause a lot of panic because it's not something that they're used to doing.
Yes.
You know, in Taiwan, it's normal for you to say, oh, put on a mask when you go on the MRT.
Yes.
So for them, it doesn't cause any panic. When you talk about a country that doesn't wear face masks and suddenly everybody's wearing face masks,
it's terrifying.
It becomes scary. Yes. So it's true. Face masks definitely helped with the spread of COVID-19 in Taiwan. But of course, when you take something that is common or normal in your country to a foreign country, it can have completely different implications, right? right? For example, in many Western cultures, crossing your fingers is the gesture we use when wishing for good luck. Okay. However, in Vietnam, this is an obscene gesture and is similar in meaning to raising the middle finger. So this is why it's very important to read up on the etiquette and customs of the host country so you know what is appropriate and what isn't.
Imagine I'm traveling in Southeast Asia. I went to Thailand. I tried to shake their hands.
And then you go to Vietnam.
Yeah, like wish them good luck. OK， 各地呢都有不同的风土民情哦。例如呢，在这个西方国家呢，手指交叉表示祝你好运，但是呢，在越南这个动作可是很不雅的哦，好像比中指那样的不雅。所以呢，这些 cultural differences 文化差异呢，就可能造成误解了。
Okay, so although it wasn't common for locals to wear masks in the subway, it was not appropriate for the local man to react in this way. In fact, he made a very racist comment, okay? He not only asked her why she was wearing a mask, which is also none of his business, but also made the nasty remark that she brought the virus with her. This is a good example of racism. He assumed not only where the woman was from, he also assumed she wasn't a local. She could have been American for all you know.
Yes, yeah.
And she never left the country for like 5 years.
Yes.
So he made a very nasty remark.
在这边呢，我们不仅是看到了这个文化差异所造成的这个争执哦。这个男子呢，他假设呢，这个主角是有带病毒的，而且假设呢，他不是本地人哦。这个病毒呢，就是不管他从哪里来，从他来的地方带来的。这些假设呢都不成立，而且呢，就有这个种族歧视 （racism） 就有这个成分在里面了。
Okay, the good thing is that another passenger stuck up for her. So to stick up for someone or something means to support or defend someone or something, especially when that person or thing is being criticized.
To stick up for someone, 或是呢，我们可以说 to stick up for something. OK， 这个片语呢，就表示说是为这个人或是为这个事情呢来支持、捍卫或是维护它。那呢，除了这个 stick up for 之外呢，你也可以说 stand up for。OK， 站起来，为了它站起来，或者是你可以直接用这些动词，比方说像是 support 支持，或是 defend 捍卫等等都可以。
That's right. Those are very good synonyms for stick up. Okay, so when someone creates a scene in public, you can be sure a lot of people will stare daggers at the people involved. This phrase stare daggers means to look at someone in an angry way. You can say look daggers at, shoot daggers at, or stare daggers at.
Dagger 这个字呢，就是匕首的意思，那种小刀哦。所以呢，你 stare daggers at 眼神就好像这个小刀一样飞向他，你就可以想象呢，这个是很憎恨、很有恶意的眼光了。所以我们中文就会说用憎恨的眼光呢来注视这个人哦。那 stare daggers at 我们也可以改写成 give somebody the evil eye，OK， 给他一个很邪恶的眼神，或是呢，我们可以讲说give somebody an evil look， 或是呢 give somebody a dirty look， 都是呢类似的意思。
Yeah, I think a lot of times parents stare daggers at their kids when they misbehave in public,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Yeah. So for a lot of Chinese people living in foreign countries, they had to deal with the stigma of being Chinese during the COVID-19 crisis. Many ignorant people pointed fingers at Chinese people for spreading the coronavirus to the rest of the world. This is why the virus was officially named COVID-19 instead of the Wuhan virus, which was what people initially called it.
I remember my friend told me that one of his colleagues is from Singapore and they're working in London.
Yes.
And actually he just got punched like in the streets because he's like Asian look. They're calling them like Chinese. You bring the virus to London.
Yeah, it was kind of a dangerous time, which is really sad because we should be trying to fight the virus, not fight each other, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we've come to the end of our episode for today. We hope you guys enjoyed it. Okay, so this is all the time we have for today. This is Angeline.
This is Sam.
Goodbye.
Bye.